This is Anzenzo, the Sambuka Speaks podcast. How sweet to my taste has your word been, more than honey to my mouth. Psalms 119, 103. Here on Anzenzo, we dish up some sweet encouragement for melanated peeps who have left narcissistic situations. Solembe. Peace. This is Anzenzo, the Sambuka Speaks podcast, Season 2, Episode 17. Well, that introduction is a little bit different than what we are used to. And the reason why I doctored up an episode intro, outro, is because for some reason, Spotify decided that the intro, which I've used for 2 years, is now the property of somebody else. And the song that they actually said that it's a copy of, when I went and listened to it, it's not even close to the song that I chose, which I paid for way back in 2012. But I digress. I will keep working on an intro, and we will see what happens in the future. They never even responded when I sent out an objection. So I'm just going to use my own stuff from now on. So hello, it's Sambuka, aka Mama Sam. How are we all? Well, today is the start of a new series. I said I was going to be doing Psalm 119 when I was on last, and so much has happened since that time. In short, I was sent into a pivot, and I'm kind of tired of doing pivots in the last while, but I was sent into a pivot because things just weren't going right. I saw a video that said something like, data doesn't lie. And the Most High put it in my spirit again to pick up something that I put aside because I couldn't get people to work with me. I was actually doing a children's channel, and there was some 3D aspects to it, and I didn't want to learn the 3D, and the people that I wanted to work with, they weren't forthcoming. So that said, even though I wasn't doing the thing extravagantly, I had a way higher retention rate, a way higher click-through rate, a way higher everything than I am with this channel. And I am believing that I'm hanging on because it's something that I went through, and it's not necessarily where the Most High wants me to put all of my energy. I'm not saying that I'm giving it up completely, but He is redirecting my energy elsewhere, and it's what I'm going to do. So what you're going to see on the Sambuka Speaks channel is mostly encouragement shorts, which are things that I've actually worked on in the past and just left them. But my shorts are the things that actually have the most traction. So if you check my channel, there are hardly any long form. There are some, but I'm doing mostly shorts with encouragement. So that's what I'll be doing. And though I'm still getting out info or learning info about narcissism, I will leave the responses to the professionals like Tamara Hill, for instance, and other professionals that are out there, and I will just do my own internal healing. And I think that the channel was a big part of my healing, but I'm really sent to do poetry and songs and jingles, etc., to help people with their healing. And I can't do that if I'm spending most of my time putting out videos. I really can't. So I've waffled too long, and the more I heal, the clearer my path gets. So the series Yeah But is going to be based on the shorts that I'm putting out on my YouTube channel. So I think I'll be doing one per week and doing it as a podcast and then putting it as an audio on YouTube. The first one is going to be called I'm Kicked Out of the Club. I'm Kicked Out of the Club. So let's get into that. What is a club? According to dictionary.com, it is a group of persons organized for a social, literary, athletic, political, or other purpose. I'm not putting family into this definition at this time. Why? Because there will be another presentation on family. The definition of being kicked out is this, and I'm using my trusty Mac for the definition, and it's exceptionally detailed. So, to be kicked out is informal, and it means to expel, eject, banish, exile, throw out, evict, oust, get rid of, axe, dismiss, discharge, and informal, chuck out. These are all synonyms, by the way. More. Send packing, boot out, give someone their marching orders, give someone their walking papers, give someone the gate, give someone the old heave-ho, sack, bounce, fire, give someone the bums rush. There's another word for it, and it's simply ostracism. When you're part of an organization, whether at work, church, friendship, or otherwise, the whole premise is to belong, to fit in. And the fact that you're most likely an empath, if you're listening to this podcast, it means your heart is soft. You don't like conflict, and it may have taken you some time to even get to the point of joining this so-called club to begin with. When I looked up the definition of ostracize, it had many of the same definitions or meanings or synonyms as kicked out. So, what are some of the psychological effects of this awful thing? According to research, feeling left out is as if a person is physically hurt. That's deep. Isn't that something? Researchers scanned people's brains while in a simulation of being left out in a digital game, and they could see it was as if the person was physically hurt. Here's another interesting thing that researchers did. They gave people Tylenol or a placebo for 3 weeks while they were going through a period of being excluded, while they were doing this simulation. And what they found was that it seemed like the Tylenol helped the pain, even though the ostracism wasn't physical. That is also interesting. Now, when I left my ex-husband, I created a peaceful, welcoming home. I wanted it to be that way. I planned and purchased things for it even before I left. And when the extended family had get-togethers, it was at my house. Why? They could be relaxed. They could be themselves. Even my narcissistic mother would behave at that point in time. When I moved to a small basement apartment, they still wanted to come to my place and even brought their friends. It was bizarre. I would have like 20-something people in a tiny, tiny basement apartment. It was exceptionally bizarre. Chaos was not part of my life. I had left the chaotic person in another city. And then I got injured. Let's continue. Belonging is a fundamental human need. We need to feel like we belong. I am so keenly aware of this as someone who has been scapegoated throughout my childhood, which I had to put to the side as I continued my life. Now, I said I got injured. That was the start of my ostracism. Things progressed, and I got further and further ostracized because of betrayal. It's literally that I'm being abused without a word being said, and this is really strange because I had to do a door slam because of abuse. So effectively, because I would not tolerate disrespect from my child, I've been ostracized by the same extended family that I was talking about before. Why is it that you just can't let one person go? It's because triangulation will occur from your situation. Whoever you had to do the door slam to will then have flying monkeys or people on the inside who will keep in contact with them, and then they will find out information from the persons that are the flying monkeys. So you can't literally let one person go. You have to let the whole cult go. Now, feelings, deep feelings, still accompany that decision, and it cuts like a knife, especially in light of the life that I was trying to build, a peaceful home after I left my ex-husband. We feel like we have no control over the situation. Our self-esteem is affected, and we question why we are in the world at all sometimes. I won't even tackle the grief that we may have to address either. It truly, truly sucks. Pardon the interruption. This is just a friendly reminder to let you know that I have products to help with self-esteem. In the box, the description box, or the show notes, whichever way you are listening to this or watching this, and it's all stuff to help you after leaving an abusive situation. There are affirmation cards, ebooks, journals. I've even recently released a jingle that is perfect to put on repeat to help you as you're walking or in your vehicle to reprogram your mind. Click the link in this description box or the show notes, like I said, to get to the store. Also, if this recording was helpful, do send it on to a friend or two. Don't be selfish. Share it along and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's get back to the podcast. Let's look at some scripture. Jeremiah 30:17 to be specific. The Most High is talking to his people, and he says, "But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds. I will heal you and bind up your wounds." That's a song that the Most High gave me, and I'm working on it. Now that I'm in GarageBand and I'm really getting the hang of it, I'm going to work on that song a bit at a time, because I believe it's a song that would be perfect for people who have gone through some sort of abuse, leaving a narcissist or whatever it is. Anyways, let's get back to the scripture. Yah says this, "And because you are called an outcast, Zion, for whom no one cares." Hear that? That's why I believe it's a perfect scripture and a perfect song for people who've gone through stuff. In the restored names it says, "For I restore health to you and heal you of your wounds, declares Yah, for they have called you an outcast." Hey, that's me saying, "This is Zion. No one is seeking her." And that's how it is for me right now. Nobody is seeking me. Nobody is seeking Zion. Nobody is seeking her. Those words ring true, and they cut deeply. It really doesn't feel like anyone cares. But Yah does. He says he will restore health to you and heal your wounds. In response to, what do we do after? That's the answer. Yah is going to restore us. We may need to heal from the trauma. And I definitely believe that you need to take the steps that I outlined in one of my past podcasts. I believe it's 14, about regulating your nervous system. So we do need to do those things. We need to be kind to ourselves. We need to realize that our feelings are valid. And never, never, never stop turning to the Most High for our assistance, because He is our bestie. We empaths are called that for a reason. We have a huge heart, sometimes to our detriment. But what we've gone through, we don't want others to experience at all. How we usually show up after going through situations such as these is by being more empathetic. Now listen here. We can sometimes do it in an unhealed way. I don't suggest doing that. If we've truly healed, we may not have gone through all the healing that we need, but if we've healed enough, we will go out of our way to make sure that everyone feels included, not to the detriment of our own emotions, but we don't want people to go through what we've gone through before. To the INFJs, people are probably flocking to you anyhow. But we never want people to feel left out if it is in our power to help them feel included. The takeaway from this episode is that scripture found in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 12. The whole chapter is good, but let's stick to verses 8 to 10. When things are going well, it is hard to tell who your real friends are. But in hard times, you can recognize your enemies. 9. Even your friends will leave you then. But when you are successful, your enemies will act like friends. Verse 10. Never trust an enemy. His wickedness is as destructive as rust. Being ostracized sucks. You've been kicked out of, quote unquote, the club. Yeah, but these events happen so that we will know who our true friends are. We will know who truly is our friends and who are our enemies and even our frenemies, even if it's family and offspring. When we have done the healing, we can take the high road and make sure, not over the top, but in a balanced manner, people feel welcomed in our presence. Don't stop. Keep going until you finally find your tribe. Well, that wraps up episode 17, the start of this new series. I hope you join us for future episodes in the Yeah But series. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we will ride it until the Most High tells me otherwise. Until next time, this is Sambuka, aka Mama Sam, sending you acres of love. Salambe.